your focus on these three pillar economies of Malawi?
You see, we have a vision. And Malawi 2063 vision really dreams about a Malawi that is self-reliant, that is industrialized, that is well-developed as an upper-middle income country. Now, to be able to reach that goal, we need to have plans. So we have an implementation plan to be able for us to see where we are in 2030. But for us to have quick wins, we developed this strategy of ATM so we can concentrate on agricultural productivity, commercialization, as well as, mechanization. So we can add value to what we produce, agribusiness across the country, let people move out of subsistence farming to where even smallholder farmers can look at agriculture as business. And then we have mega farms where we can produce more and then be able to process what we produce so we can export. And then we want to look at tourism, where, Malawi is the warm heart of Africa. It's the warmth of the people, but we have beauty. The Lake Malawi, for example, the rolling hills of the North Plateau, and we have beautiful sites where people can see rock paintings of generations ago. But we need infrastructure to be able to get to these places. We need investments in hotels. We need investments in road infrastructure. We need new airports. And so that is another area where, people can find, partnering with Malawi and partnering with China and other business folks, they can find something to do that will be beneficial for both countries. Then we are looking at mining. Malawi is blessed with all manner of rare earth. We are blessed with, from north to south, various mines that are needed now for green economy. And so we're looking for investments. We're looking for people that can partner with Malawians and develop these mines through mining development agreements. And so we think that concentrating on the three things, the ATM strategy, will give us quick gains so that Malawi can have what it takes then to leapfrog into a truly developed country.
So when you talk about these details, I can sense that you're a leader who focuses on these economic developments. And that's a very important merit, I think, now, because China, looking back to 40, 45 years, has always been putting focus on development.
Right.
On the just concluded third plenum of the CPC Central Committee, China mentioned, again, reiterating that development is still first priority. Development can solve a lot of problems for developing countries, such as China, such as Global South, such as Malawi. But development as the focus is what many countries, especially developing countries, struggle to maintain. How difficult and how crucial it is as a policymaker, as a president of the country, to really keep focus on development.
China has provided an excellent example of how, because of consistency in policy and because of a definitive plan that is followed with focus, and so there are no distractions, poverty has been pretty much eradicated. When you look at China's position 40, 50 years ago, and its position now, at that time, over 90% were
farmers. Yeah.
Very, very poor.
Yeah.
Now it's less than 1%. And how does that happen? And so these are matters that I have learned, even following China's own history, that we need to emulate in a way so that we should stay focused. I have maintained my focus. I said we have a vision. a large enough vision, let it attract all of us, and let all of us rally behind that vision so we can see definitive change and transformative change.
What you just said really reminds me of the recent debate on some Western media saying that, what do you call it, the debt trap, or China threatening policy of Africa's sovereignty. But China has always adopted the policy of non-interference with other countries' domestic policies. What's your opinion on this? I mean,
people, they perceive things different. But speaking with President Xi Jinping, I didn't get any of that sense. I got a sense of a man, a leader of a country that's well-developed, talking to you honestly and seeking to reach an understanding where they seek your views, and you feel like this is something that is desired amongst nations. Someone who would even assure you of being able to stand up for you and other developing nations at multilateral levels of the world. And so sometimes decisions and or comments are made, maybe not necessarily from a position where there's been interaction, but an observation from a distance. When you actually sit down and talk about some of these things, you find that the contrary is true.
According to my conversation with some African policymakers, they resonate with the idea that China's economic rise breaks the myth or misconcept that modernization is synonymous or equals westernization. It means China develops in its own way, and China supports all other countries, developed or developing countries, to develop its own way based on its own natural resources, its own merits, its own history and resources. What do you think of this view?
Yeah, I would